Hello and welcome to We Never Met, the podcast where I have an interesting stranger on every single week. And today we have
Jen O'Hara. So, okay, where would people most likely know you from?
Dogs of MKE, absolutely.
Okay. And so can you explain a little bit what that is?
Dogs of MKE, it's my business. It's a photography business, but most people would know just the Instagram account where I feature Milwaukee's most loved dogs in Milwaukee's most loved places.
Yeah.
So take a dog, feature them at a popular spot, say at Camp Bar, and then write a little caption about the dog. So you're both showcasing the city and then that dog as well.
Right. So how did this all even start from the get-go?
Sure.
Like, how did you start the account?
What happened was I was already doing social media for my other job, the Barcode. I'm a social media manager there, and I took pictures with my cell phone, and that got the job done.
Yeah.
But I've always loved taking photos. I just take photos with my phone a ton, really into doing social media.
Yeah.
So my boss, who's also my best friend, bought me the camera for my birthday.
Oh, nice.
2.5 years ago. She bought me the camera and she said, I think you might, or I don't know if this will be a weird gift. Maybe you'll love it. Maybe it'll just be something that collects dust, but she's like, at least it might help you take better pictures for our Instagram account.
Right.
So I was like, I love it. It's awesome. But I'd never done photography in my entire life.
Okay. How long ago was this?
2.5 years ago.
2.5 years. Okay.
Yeah. So really not that long ago. She gifted it to me. She had looked into some like beginner classes. I took such a beginner class. It basically taught me how to turn my camera on.
That is very beginner.
A lens on the camera, how to hold it.
Yeah.
It was very, very, very basic. From there, I always shot in manual. I kind of just taught myself. I watched YouTube videos.
Yeah, that's the way to do it these days.
Like Googled. I'm like, okay, I want to do this. How do I do that?
Happen? Yeah.
I talked to people that I knew were photographers, and people could give me a little tips, but there was an overwhelming response of you just need practice.
Right. Just keep doing it.
You just have to keep practicing. So I was dog walking and dog sitting at the time.
Yeah.
I was using my camera, practicing on those dogs, gifting the photos to the owners, being like, here's what we did today.
Here's a little special bonus. Yeah.
Yeah. I took some photos. But I just had to keep practicing. And after thinking about it, I was inspired by Humans of New York. And a lot of people think I was inspired by the Doggist, but I didn't even know the Doggist existed until I created Dogs of MKE. And someone was like, this is like the Doggist. And I was like, what's the Doggist?
Yeah.
But Humans of New York. So I was like, I need something that's going to keep me accountable to continue practicing.
Sure.
To get a little feedback, people liking it and stuff like that.
Sure.
But I had honestly, in the beginning, thought it would be like my friends follow it. They like the photos. So my plan was to walk around, which is how I take Humans of New York does it. I don't even know if that's how they do it. But I was just going to walk around, Third Ward, downtown, run into people and their dogs, ask to take their dog's photo, get a little clip about their dog, and do the post that way. That was my idea.
Is that how it ended up working out, or is it?
No, I've never, ever, ever done that. So I knew I needed a little feed. I had a little experience doing social media because I do it for Barcode, and I was like, I wanted there to be a feed. So I was like, I want there to be at least 6 posts started before I really try to make something of this. I did want it to be a thing, but I definitely didn't think it would become a business. I thought it would just be like this
thing
fun
that you
hobby
can practice
I do.
On, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I got 6 of my friends as dogs, took their pictures, got their caption already, had them all ready. So that was maybe in January where I came up with the idea.
Okay.
I got my camera in December, came up with the idea in January.
Yeah.
And then I didn't post any of the photos until May. I kind of had to get, I didn't start taking the photos until it got warm again, of course.
Gotcha,
we live in Milwaukee and it takes forever.
Yeah.
So as soon as we had warm days, I got those 6 photos done and once I had 6, posted them 6 days in a row. Okay. The second one is of a dog named George, who I used to dog sit in and walk.
Yeah.
A little Boston Terrier that I photographed outside of Bernhardt's in Bayview. Okay. Cute little photo, got immediately reposted by Dear MKE. I don't know if you're familiar with that Instagram account, very popular. All of a sudden, I had a flood of followers. Just all of a sudden, a ton of people and getting emails from strangers.
Being like, take pictures of my dog. Take
pictures of my dog. Yep.
Wow.
And so ever since then, I have never asked somebody to be on it. It's purely people reaching out to me.
Wow.
Always.
Yeah, that's crazy. So with those pictures, I mean,
so you had no like strategic plan, or you're just kind of like going for it?
Yeah.
What have you learned from taking pictures of dogs? Because I feel like it's gotta be tough.
It's such a learning experience.
Yeah.
I do think that a lot of people think that dogs may be harder than humans, but I always say in so many ways they're easier because dogs are always themselves. Like they're not trying to like look a certain way for a picture. You know how girls like try to do the skinny arm and things like that. Dogs are just themselves. And that's why the pictures come out with so much personality and like action, because they are just being themselves. You can also kind of manipulate them just with treats and squeaky toys, and you can do what they want to do. Humans, you have to do a lot of like chin down, arm this way, stop being awkward. There's a lot of, a lot more to that. Now, of course, not all dogs will just sit there. Not all dogs are treat motivated. Not all dogs know their name yet, especially puppies. Yeah. So obviously there is a lot of chasing, running around, sweating. It's a lot. Oh gosh, the things I've learned. Is
there specific like angles that are better for dogs?
So that's something I've very much learned. Because I'm trying to get Milwaukee in the pictures as well. Right. You really have to back way up from a place. So if I were doing a picture outside of Camp Bar, you might assume, okay, we're just outside the front door. The building's right there. Yeah. But you want to see where it says Camp Bar in the building. So you got to actually go across the street. Right. And then have the dog close up to you. Yeah. And because a lot of people want to put their dog back there and have me go across the street. I'm like, no. You want to see the dog with that as the background. Right. So learning that, and also because I'm posting my pictures to Instagram,
you got the square crop.
Well, the crop, and even if you expand it, it's still cropped a little bit. Right. So I end up having to always take a ton of photos from different angles, because you don't know where it's going to crop it, and you would hate to get home and this is the perfect photo. Yeah. But Camp Bar is not even, it's cropped out. And it's like, then this is just a good picture of a dog. So that doesn't work for anything. Yeah. And I mean, I put a lot of those photos in the story because that's the full photo. You can see it. So learning those things, I lay on the ground a lot.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
I work my abs a lot because usually I'm down like this.
Yeah, don't have to go work out
and my abs will be shaking, and you just have to hold it. So I do a lot of laying on the ground.
Yeah. What has been your favorite dog to take a picture? Do you ever have like one specific one that you remember?
One of my favorite posts that I end up showing a lot of people are these 2 miniature dachshunds on Bradford Beach. Mm-hmm. It was a shoot I did in the summer of the first year I did Dogs of MKE. Okay. And the reason it's my favorite is because these dogs were nonstop moving. They were running and sprinting all over Bradford Beach. And I had just started. I was just learning, and I was like,
can they stop?
Yeah. I was like, I don't know how to deal with this. But, I didn't act that way. I was just like, we'll get this. And the photos actually turned out super well. I have a lot of photos of them running. Right. But they're still in the photo, and you would never know it was pure chaos. It was just pure chaos. Insane.
How many photos did you take of that to get a good
That's a
one?
good question. That was so long ago, I couldn't give you an exact number, but if I had to guess, maybe 150 probably. Wow. Yeah. And then you end up with 3 photos on the post,
Right, exactly. Yeah. So location is like a big thing as well.
Absolutely.
Why do you think that's important for your Instagram account as well, accompanying the dogs?
Sure. So when I first started doing it, the location was supposed to be a place important to the owners. Okay. So for example, my first photo is at the place that the dog owners met. They met at the Harp. And now they're married and they have kids and stuff like that. So that had significance to them because it's where they met. So in the beginning, it was always a place that was significant to the people. Now I want to keep it fresh. So I can't just keep doing the same places. Right. And a lot of people met the Harp. I can't just do the Harp. Yeah, exactly. So I can't just do the Harp. So, now it's more important for me to have unique locations, new places, or I'll circle back to places I've done before, but we have to like show it in a different way. Okay. And now that my account's getting a little more popular, people are letting me come inside to non-dog friendly places. Right. I've done a lot of restaurants who let me come in the off hours and do that sort of thing. So I like showing unique perspectives like that, or putting a dog on a bar, or you know what I mean? It looks like you just don't see that. Or I also like featuring dog friendly places that maybe people didn't know were dog friendly, or maybe they did, but just people like to come to my account to look, where can I take my dog? Right. You know?
Yeah. Could take him here.
Yep.
Oh, this one I cannot. So even before this account started, were you doing anything in this field at all, like creatively?
Just the social media for the barcode. That's all I did. I really have never done creative anything before. I was a nurse before. Very different.
Very different field.
Yes.
Yeah. So when it turned over, was it like a steep learning curve for you to like figure out all this stuff? Like when you first started shooting these dogs, were like you had a bunch of blurry photos of dogs running and
right,
stuff?
Absolutely. And the good thing in the beginning, I didn't do the stories. I usually posted one photo. So you could get one photo of the dog. Sometimes that meant it, like I was saying before, it may not be the camp bar in the back. You can't see it very well. It's just, it's like a decent photo of a dog. So you learn those things. Just really learning to I learned so much, letting the dog settle down a little bit, backing up, having tons of treats, asking the owners to bring what's like a high value treat to their dog because maybe my treats they don't really like. And then my biggest trick is just like lost.
Yeah.
As far as like the creative thing, oh my God, it's huge.
Yeah. Like what's one thing you learned photography wise that like changed everything for you? Like when you were first learning,
oh gosh,
the camera, like, oh, I can change this and then this will be so much better.
Oh gosh. I don't know about like photography wise. Getting new lenses was huge.
Yeah.
Now I use a 24 millimeter and that's much more wide angle than I was using before. And for dogs, that's very nice because I can be up close to them and get the scenery and for them. I did a lot of watching of YouTube videos for editing. Okay. And I think this is like such a silly tip, but just, I will think, okay, this is what I want to do for this photo. How do I do that? So I will Google.
Yeah, exactly what you want.
Yep. And you'll find a video to like fix that.
Oh, for sure.
When I do that, half the time it not only fixes that issue that I'm able to do in the future, but I'll learn another tip from that video being like, oh, if you want this, all you need to do is that. I'm like, oh,
right.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's the way to do it. Cause I went to school for video production. So like during my schooling, I learned a bunch of stuff that was completely irrelevant when I graduated. So like I graduated and pretty much had to learn everything all over again. And so it was a lot of that though. It was a lot of like learning as you go and learning from the internet, you know, the internet is your teacher. And, but it works out because there is literally a video for everything.
There is a video for everything. I think having patience with that learning curve as well has been huge. And that helps that I know so many photographers because I'm a fitness instructor. I talk to a lot of people in different career fields and I'm like, you know, this is so frustrating. And they're like, this is just how it is. As you know, you just
keep going. Trial
and error, trying things. I think the biggest way I learn is after I've posted something or even delivered an album of photos to people. Yeah. I will already know the things that I wish I did better and remember that for next time. Sure. The other thing is just pre-planning things. Like I'll leave a shoot and I'm like, this was a cool shoot, but if I would have thought to bring this or do this or put the dog here, it would have been a little bit cooler, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Do you have dogs yourself?
I do. So I have a puppy. I just got him in March. Before that, I didn't. I had a dog that passed away 3 years ago from a brain tumor. It took me that long to get a new dog. Yeah. But that would be the first question people would ask me whenever they met me. And then when I told them no, they'd kind of give me a head tilt side eye. And I'm just like, then I have to talk about my dead dog. Right. It was like,
I got to bring that up again.
I just didn't seem legit. And that's not why I got a dog. Obviously I love dogs. But when you have a dog that passes away, it takes a long time. Right, yeah. And also other things were going on in my life. It just took a long time to be able to get a dog again.
So has there been any surprisingly easy dogs that you've had? Like that are, because I know puppies probably are notoriously the hardest.
So hard.
But has there been one I saw there was one recently. It was like the cutest dog. It was like sort of a dog. I'll describe the photo for you. It was a dog like running towards the camera. It was a brown dog. I think it was. I can show you probably a photo, but it was, I think it was a puppy.
Golden Retriever puppies always do really well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, I guess I shouldn't say always, but they're usually just so good.
Oh, right here, this one.
Oh, yes. That took a lot of takes.
Yeah, that's a good picture too, right there.
Yeah,
you know?
Thank you. That dog, I think had been to a few puppy classes, so at least had sit down. Sure. And the photo you just showed me. Yeah. What you can't see is that I edited out the mom who's in the back. She's not holding the dog, but she went to the center of the bridge. And the dad was behind me. Okay. And I have a treat in my camera. She lets go of the dog and the dog comes towards me.
Oh, wow.
So it's not the dog.
How many times did you do that over again?
I only think I did that maybe twice, honestly. Wow. But you just like increase your shutter speed and like say, go. Yeah.
Take as many as you can.
That dog was actually fairly well trained. Yes. And that dog is the same age as my dog. So only about 5 months. I think it was 4 months when we did those photos.
Right. Yeah. So with all this, like, has it grown exponentially, like really quickly, and then you're kind of like now it's more now it's a slower growth, or has it kind of been just teetering up?
It's been a steady growth the whole time. I think that a lot of people think that it kind of blew up, but it really has been a steady growth. I will say that my growth rate now has been a little bit quicker. I would say before I was averaging between 75 and 100 new followers per week.
Oh, wow.
And now I'm more like 120 plus per week. So it's not like a huge difference, but it does make a difference.
But I mean, as your audience grows, like so does the amount of people that share it probably.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, you're just going to keep growing as long as you're posting content. So like, is that, you're just going to kind of keep going? Do you have any other plans for Dogs of MKE?
Oh my God, I have so many ideas, plans, everything.
Too many plans.
So the toughest part is that I'm just one person. So I have huge ideas and huge plans.
And you do other stuff too.
And I have another job. Yes. Yeah. I work every single day from when I wake up until I go to bed. And so it's just like, there's no more time. I just try to work on like time efficiency and productivity just so that I can like do more myself. I always say I have a death grip on every single thing I do for Dogs of MKE, but I am certainly at that place where I need to hire somebody to help me out.
Right. Yeah. Help you out. Just administrative,
all these things that I have ideas for. I need their help on all these little tedious things I do day to day so that I can do those things.
There's a website associated with it too, right?
Yes, I have a website. People hire me for full shoots as well. So I do.
Oh, nice.
Like recently I've done a proposal shoot where like the person just said, "Oh, we're moving." Okay. I'm going to tell my girlfriend that I did this photo shoot because we're moving out of Milwaukee and I want to do the Dogs of MKE shoot before we leave. So she showed up thinking that she's just doing a photo shoot of her dog, and then he proposed, and then they got proposal photos. Oh, okay. So I've done that. I've done family photos. I've done just dog photos. I did a birthday shoot last week.
Oh, wow.
So I get a lot of people hiring me just not to be on my Instagram, but just hire in general for a full session. And I get hired for events and things like that as well.
Sure. Non-dog related stuff, right?
All dogs. Yeah.
Oh, all dogs.
Always dogs.
Have you done non-dog related stuff yet? Have you ventured into the...
No, I've done... All my photos always have dogs. Sometimes there's people in them, but no. I just think that's my niche, and I'm going to stick with it. I do all the photography for Barcode, so I do humans that way. And a few of my friends have asked me to do photos of like their family or their kids or this or that, and I do that. But it's not something that I advertise because I'm more interested in the dog thing, and I'm very busy doing that, so I don't feel like I guess need to.
Is there something that specifically attracts you about dogs, like how they are, or something about the behavior of dogs that's so...
I just, like I said, like I feel like because they be themselves, it's just you can capture so much in it, and I just feel like it's also what I'm good at, so I just stick with that, you know.
So you stick to
I'm just so used to like manipulating the dogs and like doing that thing that it's just my niche, I guess.
Has there been stuff that you had to like turn down, or like is there I guess shoots of dogs that are like you're like, oh, that's gonna be way too hard to do?
Never there's been a few people that have sent me pretty like large requests.
Like, we want our dog on a yacht.
Yeah, well, that I would do. I'd be so jazzed about that. I would be there in a second. It's a tough thing because sometimes it is a good opportunity, but like I have to have some, little bit of respect for my time. And because I have so little of it, at this point, it's not hard to say no. Right. And there's been many things where I said, I won't do it for free, but here's what I'll do it for. And they come back like 90% of the time and pay me. Yeah. So
on the other side, you talked about Barcode. Have you always been into fitness? Like, have you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Always. I've only been a fitness instructor for 5 years, but I have been working out since I was a teenager. Very into it.
Were you into athletics and stuff as a kid and all that, or just?
I was like in dance, and I was a cheerleader. Okay. I was never
still athletic.
You're right. I completely agree with that. I'm not athletic.
Okay.
People assume because I am like fit that I'm athletic, and
there's a
difference. Yep. And I'm not. I'm clumsy. I am not good at sports. No.
Was it hard to get into a like fitness instructing though? Being
absolutely
clumsy?
Funny thing, and you probably wouldn't guess this about me talking to me now, but I was extremely shy.
Oh, really?
Could not talk in front of people. I was working out at the Barcode when I started there, and Betsy, who owns the Barcode now my best friend, we weren't friends before that. She's like, I want to make you an instructor. And I said, that's so flattering. I appreciate it. I would love to do it, but I just can't.
Right.
I go, talking in front of people terrifies me. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
I said, and I wanted to do it so bad too.
Right.
But I was like, I can't do it. She was like, that's cute. We're going to put a mic on you and we're going to try this.
Yeah.
She essentially bullied me, forced me to do it. It was absolutely terrifying. I went through all the training, terrifying, started instructing, basically blacked out for the first like 3 months of teaching. It was so difficult for me. So hard. And now you would never guess that. Anyone that knows me now would never guess that I have any problems talking in front of people. I teach 10 to 14 classes a week. It's like what I do. So it's really, really changed a lot in my life and a huge.
Right. Yeah. Why were you so shy? Were you just always that way?
I just was always like quiet and shy. Yeah. And until I like got to know people. And of course you open up that way, but like in groups, even groups of my own friends, it would be difficult for me to like have people looking at me and talking to them. I don't know. I don't know. I just, that's how I was.
Do you remember the specific, like when you're working at the barcode, when that changed for you?
That is a great question.
When it was like, okay, it's not as bad as
my heart's not pounding anymore.
I can remember this event.
I think it took at least like 6 months where I could start teaching class and my heart wasn't like in my throat and pounding. Wow. It was a long time.
Yeah.
But I would just like fake it till I make it, like find confidence and
I was going to say, could people tell? Could they be like, was your voice like shaking while you were talking to the mic?
It was shaking in the first at least couple of months. Yeah. I'm sure people could tell then. And in instructing, you can definitely tell when someone's like kind of checked in, checked out. I doubt the clients at the barcode could tell. They could probably tell I was new, but I don't think that they could tell that I was just making it through class.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing about fitness though is that they're worried about working out.
Exactly, they're not worried about you. And that's one of the things that we teach new instructors now. That's what I do. I train new instructors there as well. Is that like they aren't focused on you, and this isn't about you. They're here to work out.
They're struggling.
They just want you to like motivate them
to
lead them through their workout, and that's what about. So once you remember that or figure that out, it does take away the nerves. They're not listening to the things you say.
Right.
And even now, every single day, I will start some motivational quote or monologue, and then I'm like, this is ridiculous. What are you saying? And I'll just stop saying it, and I move on to the next thing, and no one notices because they aren't listening to you.
Right.
Or they might notice and they're like maybe smiling to themselves. Or
or think about it later.
Yeah.
But, do you know Sean T? He's so what is your sort of fitness, I guess, persona when you like lead a class?
I'm Jen Yonsei.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I don't know what that is.
Beyonce with my name, Jen Yonsei.
Okay.
I without the mic at the studio, I am not the same person. I put the mic on and I like truly have like, like let's do this.
Does that happen to a lot of people, you think?
I think so.
Because I feel like Sean T is not like that in real life, probably. Like the way
I feel like he is.
You think so?
Yeah.
I watch all.
I want to think he is.
He's so quotable. You know, if you ever done like the Insanity workout series or any of that stuff, like he does all that. And it's funny about Sean T because like he's so like hard in those videos, and stuff. And like you go back for like far enough and realize that he started doing like dance. Fitness
little hip hop videos,
yeah, where he's wearing like high socks and like all this stuff. But then you go to Insanity, it's like, is this a different?
Now do like
guy?
8 tuck jumps and then 6 burpees and then
yeah. It's pretty crazy. So what do you teach there?
At the barcode, we have bar classes, we have cardio kickboxing, which is our brawl class. We have boot camp classes, and then we have high intensity interval training, very much like Sean T.
Yeah.
I actually used to do Insanity before I came to barcode years ago, and that's one of the things that drew me to barcode because the HIIT classes were very similar to that, but it was easier to stay in it because you're in a group setting. At home, it's like, well, I'm going to tap it out over here, get some water. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So it was like having Sean T there with you.
Yeah.
Motivating you, and because you stuck with it, you got fit quick, and it was like, this is great.
Right. So are you motivated more by in like groups and stuff like that?
Absolutely.
Is that why fitness kind of? Yeah. What do you feel like? How do you feel about the fitness community in general? Do you think it's pretty collaborative and like a good environment?
I want to say yes, but
there's so many different avenues you can do. There's like the barcode stuff. There's CrossFit. There's like just straight up weightlifting. There's like so many different
for sure
avenues.
What I think is tough here in Milwaukee is that it's such a small community that everyone is kind of competing against each other. There's only so many people here. It's not a large city.
Right.
And I guess we've seen that at barcode a little bit because for a while we were one of the only boutique fitness studios, but now there's others. And so now we're feeling that competition. And so I think it's tough to be collaborative for that reason. Of course, I'm not in charge of that sort of thing. So I guess I can't speak to what I would do, but it feels competitive in my opinion.
Because there's stuff happening every single day. There's new like fitness studios opening nationally, like every single day.
Absolutely.
It seems like I just saw one that's recently out of North Carolina. Like it's like Sweat Camp or something.
Or is it Burn Boot Camp?
Burn. There we go. Yeah, that one. But yeah, I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, that's a national chain. I didn't even know.
Yeah. I actually listened to a podcast about whoever started that and how like they have a gajillion locations now all over. And
it's crazy. Yeah. Are they, I'm sure they're really doing well.
I think they're killing it. Yeah.
Are there any here? I don't even know.
I believe so. Out like way out burbs, maybe like Menominee Falls or something like that. I honestly don't know where they're at, but I think that there is.
Yeah, because is Barcode a franchise?
It's a franchise.
Okay.
Yep. We have 2 locations, Third Ward and Brookfield.
Okay, but they're all over the place.
They're all over. Yep.
Okay. Could I do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So technically,
what is bar class, by the way?
Bar is like small little movements, light weights, full body. We do arms, abs, thighs, and seat. That sounds like it's going to be like light weights. Makes it seem like kind of wimpy. You would come, you would sweat your ass off, die. It's very, very tough. It's very different. It's like you work the little muscles in your body that you wouldn't use in day-to-day things or even in like your regular gym workout. And it just kicks your butt and people have no idea. It's awesome.
Yeah, because I mean, like I do marathons, so like I'm in the midst of training for my next marathon right now, and I like to do cross training obviously while I'm doing marathons, and it's always fun to try new things, you
Absolutely.
know. And so if that can help, because when I do Insanity while I'm doing marathon, it's like it's weird how different muscle groups
for sure
you work when you do different workouts.
For sure, I used to be a huge runner. I did marathons, half marathons. Ended up with like terrible case of runner's knee, both of my knees.
Bummer.
So I had to quit altogether for 3 full years. I couldn't even work out. I was in so much pain. I wasn't running. Yeah. Or 2 years. 2 years. And then that's how I came across bar because I had been doing physical therapy and a lot of bar exercises mimic what the kind of things you do in physical therapy.
Sure.
Like strengthening like your outer hips, things that like really make you a stronger runner. So bar class specifically is such a great like complementary workout to running. We tell people this all the time and I can speak for it. Like I can run now with zero pain.
Wow.
Like, and I can just run. I also did some half marathons since I've been working out at Barcode.
So what did you do for those 2 years when you couldn't?
I just didn't work.
Really
it's funny because
sad?
it was so sad.
Yeah.
It was hard. Because you're a runner and you know how like that was just my life. I was a huge runner.
And I love to do it. Like I like coming home and being able to run like 8 miles, and that's just like my me time. Essentially.
Absolutely. I'm not like that person that was like, oh, I have to talk myself into running. I ran all of the time. It's just what I did. So it was very difficult. That full 2 years was just trying to come back. I would go run for 2 minutes and I was like, okay, I'm just going to slowly build this. And then I'd end up with a lot of pain. It was a lot of physical therapy. I started doing Pilates and then I got into bar and then I started teaching bar. So
yeah. What is runner's knee? Like what is it specifically?
I don't even, because I'm like a nurse and I had it, you think I could talk about it, but I can't. But essentially mine happened because I had weak hips and butt. So the way when I would land would somehow mess with my knee.
Over and over again.
Yep. It was it's such a common thing, but it was so painful that I was convinced. I was working as a nurse at the time.
Yeah.
I was convinced I had like Lyme's disease or rheumatoid arthritis. I came up with like 10 different illnesses I probably had because I felt like an elderly woman I'd get out of bed and I just couldn't move. I was in pain. And I actually had like a meltdown at work. I was working in family practice at the time and they did like a bunch of labs for me because I just was really upset with how I'm like, I'm not running, but I'm in so much pain and I don't have Lyme's. I don't have any of those things. I'm fine.
Yeah. But it always goes to the worst,
It goes to the worst. Yeah. I was definitely going to die.
Yeah, of course. You always are. If you look on the internet too, that makes it 10 times worse.
For sure. So it's crazy how, it was also a lack of stretching.
Oh, okay.
I didn't stretch ever. I was a runner for a gajillion years from like age 16 until I stopped. I still run now.
Yeah.
So 20 years. I never stretched. Like never, not even a quick like reach for my toes, like nothing.
Yeah. Well, and that helps, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you're not stretching, I would do that.
Let's start doing it now.
Yes.
So you said you are running though again and you do.
Yeah. Like just for fun, like just here and there. No, like even like I'm going to go run this long. It's more like, especially because now that I work at a gym and I've worked there for a long time, sometimes going there to work out doesn't feel like that same like stress release that it used to be because I'm at,
it's like your job.
I'm at work. Yes. And because especially some of my job is to train the instructor. So if I'm taking a class, I am like evaluating their class, but I just want to like space out and take
just
class.
do it. Yeah.
So running for me now is that just like relax. It's like Zen, what other people are probably doing yoga. I just put my phone on and run, you know?
Yeah, that's what I do too.
Yeah.
It's a nice little like getaway. You don't have to be reached by anybody. You have no obligations. You can just do it.
And it's so easy because it takes less time too. That's the other thing. I'm just so short on time these days that like going to a full class where you have to think about time to get there, taking a class, time home, when I can just walk out my door, run, and then you're back.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why I like it so much too. So like, what is like a typical workload for you as far as like Dogs of MKE in a week? Like how many are you shooting?
It depends. I try to do most of my photo shoots on Sundays. I'll have anywhere between 4, 6, sometimes 7, I think is the most I had on one day.
Okay.
I try not to do more than that because then I just start to get tired and then it's just no good.
Right.
So on average, I would say 4 or 5 every Sunday.
Okay.
Those are the feature shoots, which are the ones you see on the Instagram because I have like different little levels of photo shoots.
Sure.
And then I do full sessions as well. I still try to schedule those on Sundays if that works for the client.
Yeah.
If not, I'll have those interspersed throughout the week and maybe one of those per week.
Sure. So if you're shooting that many, how many are you posting?
I try to post 3 a week. That doesn't always happen.
Sure.
But I try really hard to stick to that.
That's a lot.
It is.
Yeah.
Each post takes me approximately 2 hours to work on.
Wow.
You know, including like editing, picking out the photos, editing them, adding the caption, making the story, you know, all of those things put together takes about 2 hours if I'm like completely uninterrupted.
Sure.
And that's another thing in my life is that my time is interrupted because I have 2 jobs.
Yeah.
So that's a lot putting those posts together. And then of course, obviously my business is not just doing the photos. If it were, God, life would be so easy. Yeah. I get a crazy amount of email, DMs. I get a lot of DMs. So responding to that and the emails is a lot. And a lot of my emails isn't just responding to an email. That's pretty simple, but like scheduling things. So, and that's what's kind of tough about my scheduling for my shoots, or I guess any photographer in this way, especially if you have ones back to back. I'm trying not to go Tosa, then downtown, then out to shore. You know, I'm trying to keep them. So I have to like kind of look and find what makes the most sense. Yep. Yeah. And also the other thing is like, for example, last weekend I had a shoot at the Pabst Theater. This girl that worked for the Pabst got us inside. Oh, cool. So normally I would only allot an hour for a shoot and then go to the next one after that. But I'm like, I don't want to be at this really cool location and have to like take off for the next shoot. Right. So I schedule her a little longer. So it's kind of just coordinating all those little, like how much time do I need for that? This weekend I'm doing one in Economwalk. So I need to like consider driving time and all, you know, there's just like so much to think about. It's not just like a 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, like sign up for a time slot kind of thing. If I could do that, that might make things a little bit easier if I had people sign up on their own. Right.
Just come to my studio. We can all do them here in this one location.
Exactly. Yeah. I do have plans to do something like that. Especially like last October, I did a lot of Christmas cards.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a lot of me running around to do that. And a lot of the people went to the same location. So I'm thinking, why don't I just make a couple of days in the fall where we're all going to meet here? I don't move.
Yeah.
And you
guys
come to me.
Bring them in. Yeah. Bring the dogs in.
Yeah. And it would just make it a little bit easier for everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. So with the stories that you post, do they come from the owners or do you?
They do. Okay. In the beginning, I would have just people send me bullet points and I would try to write it up, and that takes a lot of time. And I also like when the owners write it because it's their voice. Words, I usually edit them a little bit. Of course, like spelling and grammar and things like that. But I also
condense them if
they're too long. And that's what I usually tell people. Like too much is not a problem. I like give me enough. And if people don't give me enough, I kind of send a few questions like, what's this and what's this?
What are the stories usually about?
Just the dog. I tell them always, tell me like what's most interesting about your dog. Like dogs, I know they like walking, they like treats. Yeah. Like, don't tell me that. Yeah. Tell me like your dog likes this weird food combination, or your dog, like if they're a rescue dog, if you know any part of their story, people like hearing that. So tell me that. Just tell me like their weird, quirky things they do. Yeah. And sometimes I give them examples and I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Like my old dog that passed away, he loves Skittles. It's really weird. Like he could see a red bag of Skittles and he would start drooling. Like, wow. Yeah. So just like tell me those things because that's funny. And of course, if they have like an Instagram account, I usually like promote their dog's Instagram.
But has there been any stories that you that have like you remembered at least like really weird stuff?
Really weird things.
Like that, oh man, that dog does that, or that dog that really likes that. That's bizarre.
A girl I know that I photographed, her dog, she had a chocolate lab, who unfortunately has since passed away, but it just talked about how destructive her dog was, like eating a couch, eating the insides of her car. Like just, if you read the story, it is hilarious. And if you know the girl, it's just funny. Like she loved this dog so much, but it just destroyed and ate so many things from her house and car. And it was hysterical.
That's like a Marley and Me kind of thing. You know?
Yes.
Man, that's crazy. Yeah. We, when I was growing up, we had two, they were like golden retriever mixes. They're kind of like duck tolling retrievers. I don't know if you know what those look like. I do. And yeah, they were huge and they were destructive, you know? And I feel like when they're that big, you know, it's hard not to be.
Absolutely.
Like they could stand up and just like stick their head in the garbage can and just go into it.
Awful. I have like a couple of people that had rescue dogs that were dogs that like were returned multiple times, and they're the person that kept the dog. And if you see these dogs now, not only are they well behaved, but they are spoiled rotten. And it's so heartwarming to think that someone would put up this much, like put up so much training for their dog and keep this dog that has like eaten their floorboards and like made, you know what I mean? Just insane things, like behavioral issues that they dealt with, but got through, and they still have that dog. And I'm just like, yeah,
they can be super destructive if they want to, you know, they're amazing animals. But I mean, it's super cool, like what you do. And I love the photos. And, so where can people find, are you Dogs of MKE on everything pretty much?
Everything. Yep. My website, my Instagram, Facebook. Those are my three primary things.
And do you post all the Instagram photos on Facebook too?
I don't. So the ones you see on Facebook are the people that purchase their photos. So when I do the Instagram features, they have the choice of buying their photos. They don't have to purchase them. But if they do, then I put them on Facebook.
Okay.
And I only do that because if I just put them on Facebook, it would be very easy to just download them.
Right, exactly. You can just literally click on download and do it.
So yes, I primarily put them on Instagram, and even the full sessions I do, if people hire me for proposals or Christmas photos or anything like that, I usually feature that dog as well and put that on Instagram. So
right. And where can people like reach out to you and book photos? Is that through your website?
Yep. So the website's the best place. I have a contact form on there that leads you through all the questions that I would, need answers to before we booked. And then it comes through to me email, which is jen@dogsofmke.com. And then
you're off to the races.
Off to the races. Yeah.
Well, awesome. Thanks for being on. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
this was so fun.
To meet you.
Yes.